So a little something I'm doing now is reading creepypastas for the Halloween season, and I'm trying to make them themed kind of around my channel a little bit. So superhero creepypastas, anything like that, send them in, I'll give them a read. And I also review them a little bit at the end. Today's creepypasta is one that's been suggested to me by a lot of followers, does whatever a spider does. Once again from an unknown author. So let's go, let's do this. Insert, the machine said. So I put the card in, hoping to withdraw the million I had found earlier, but whatever I did, it only kept popping up the same message in my mind. Does whatever a spider does. What? Where had this message come from? All I knew was that I had seen it on a piece of paper in the guy's wallet, the guy I had taken the money from. Alone, it made no sense, but it was part of a sentence or a saying. Does whatever a spider does? What did whatever a spider did? I hoisted my bag over my shoulder and felt in my jeans pocket for the handle of my pistol. Setting off to the new store gave me a delinquent feeling, proud yet wrathful. I had been the jerk at primary, then the school bully at secondary, and then, finally, this. Now, I was alone, yet with all the friends I could have. I guess the reason I chose crime was because I'd always loathed those goody kids who would sneak on people and report things to staff. This was the life, I told myself. I headed into the store. This was the best job. No sitting around like a loafer, no arrogance, no psychological harm done by sacking, just a quick, clean standoff and getaway, and then I'd be rich. Quick as a tiger, I slunk into the store, pretended to shop, and then came to the counter. "Yes, can we help you, sir?" asked the bartender. "Yeah, I would like..." I pretended to consider, then whipped out the gun. "All your damn money." "What?" the barkeeper yelled, but I cocked the trigger and pointed it at him. He frantically pressed a panic button and opened the drawer. I seized the cash and sneered at him, running out of the store, down the street and into a taxi, the last place the police would think of. "Where to?" asked the driver. "Oh, just to Central Square," I said. I eyed his money bag, wondering if I should snatch it too. Just then, there came another line in my head. "Catches thieves just like flies." What? I decided not to hold the driver at gunpoint and just to get out of the damn taxi. In the next shop, the theft went just as well. Even better, they barely hesitated before I stole the cash. The fools didn't even press the panic button. And on the street, on the way out, there it was again, in my head. Spins a web any size. And what was this about? I found a bank which was closing for the afternoon and only had 2 guards in there. Faced with both of my pistols, they didn't even hesitate to open the safes. This job was going easy. So let's recap. I had not 100, but 200 plus 500 from the bank, all in one daring afternoon. On the way out, it was like my brain was unlocking itself. A sort of a ding happened, and then in my head, look out, here comes the On the way down, past the street's corner shop, I saw a guitarist, long blonde hair, singing a song about how he dressed like a spider and how he deserved one big hug. I thought it weird, but went on. I mean, who in their right mind dresses like a spider to steal? Criminals wear normal, unremarkable clothes. I chose my next attack at night, anticipating a rich older woman, because she could have even more money. She was walking home on the dark alley. I waited until she went to the end, and then leapt out of my hiding place. "Come on, you hag, give me the cash," I said. She looked at me like I was an imbecile. "Manners," she said. "Young men like you have forgotten their manners." Not really, just wanting to get rich. Suddenly, a burning, zealous rage gripped me. "Give me the bag, you ugly witch!" I shouted. No one was there to see, thanks to it being at night. To my surprise, she spat on the ground, raised my arm, and brandished the gun, only to have it yanked out of my hand. I twisted round. What was happening? I couldn't see the gun anywhere. One moment it had been in my hand, the other it was gone, like thin air, like it had never existed. Seeing her chance, the woman clubbed me round the jaw with her umbrella, which ached a ton. She brandished the pointed end at me. I snarled and raised a fist to punch her, but then something horribly gooey, sticky, and wet latched onto my fist, and another latched onto my shoulder and dragged me back to a dark, horrid alley. There were rats in that alley. The old woman, just a hunched figure in the distance, but she looked surprised. I was terrified. I blundered down the alley, trying to work out why my tough, aggressive side full of confidence had gone, and why this was happening. I hadn't gone far before I hit a gigantic web. It was a nasty thought, but I was stuck there, like a fly. The web was gigantic, 15 foot high and sticky. Now I knew what had dragged me here. I was penned into it, unable to move. A good target for the old woman if she ever came back. I twisted my neck and saw a horrible thing. As I looked, something like a man-sized spider was crawling down the webbing towards me. I opened my mouth to yell, but suddenly I saw it had not 8 legs, but 4, or rather 2 arms and 2 legs. It was human, but what was he doing on a spider's web? Had he shot it, or was there a spider swarm nearby? And also, what was he wearing? Why was he dressed in red and blue? And why did he have a spider on his clothes? As he crept nearer and nearer, his horrible white eyes boring into mine, the full rhyme suddenly crept into my mind. As I stood there, pinned to the web, it all makes sense. Spider-Man, Spider-Man, does whatever a spider can. Spins a web, whatever size, catches thieves, just like flies. Oh, look out. Here comes the Spider-Man. And that's the end. And I gotta say, I thought that was really good, actually, really clever. Definitely not your typical creepypasta, but more like Spider-Man 1 as told from the perspective of one of the petty crooks. Now, I don't know how accurate the logistics of being a petty crook are in this. I can't imagine you just go from one shop to the next, to the next, to the next, just like that, and then just rob literally everyone. I reckon you'd probably do like 1 a day at most, because otherwise you're gonna get caught. Also, having this song stuck in his head would imply that Spider-Man's been around for a while, but the inclusion of the blonde guy on the guitar suggests that it's Spidey's first day on the job, so I think that's a bit strange, but I think it's also... It kind of signals what's to come. It's kind of a bit of foreshadowing, but I feel like if you took that out, it would actually come more unexpected when we saw Spider-Man himself, but at the same time, I think you need that little bit of foreshadowing, because otherwise, what exactly are we reading here? It's a tricky one, and I'll chalk that one up to artistic license, but this was a really good creepypasta. It's not really anything creepy, though, if you know who Spider-Man is and everything, and I think everybody knows who Spider-Man is. So I don't know how effective it is as a creepypasta, but at the same time, it's really good, and a really cool other perspective to Spider-Man 1. But what do you guys think? Comment below and discuss, and as always, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, don't forget to hit subscribe, hit the like button, and in the description below are links to my Patreon and my Discord. Stay tuned for exciting promos. Oh hey gang, look at this! Channel Goat is back! But he's got bad news. His computer was hacked by the Adzinko gang, and they leaked his private information. And now his goat cojones are there for everybody to see. Ah man, that's quite a predicament you got there, Channel Goat. And the thing is, you're not the only one. Do you know how many people get hacked per year and have their personal information and data spread online for all to see? A lot. Like, look it up. And I know what the rest of you are thinking. It hasn't happened to me, yet. Well, emphasis on yet. I mean, how old are you? Right, now how long is the average human lifespan? That's a lot of time that you could get hacked in. And by the time that's done, everybody is gonna know what your pee-pee looks like. Do you really want that? Do you really want the world to see your pee-pee? You run that risk every single day, guys. Seriously, hackers, pretty talented people. Which is why I, for one, use NordVPN to protect my private information and my Nords. It shuffles your data so that it can't be found by hackers, but not only that, it can also unlock the worldwide range of Netflix. And like, who wouldn't want that, right? Now you can really maximize your subscription. The fact is, guys, you could save yourself the stress and a lawsuit by simply browsing with NordVPN. And I've made it easy for you. A link is in the description below. And this subscription comes with a promise. Nobody has to know what you're into anymore. You little furry you. Anyway, sign up today. Seriously, do it. Please? For your sweet little puppy? This video is brought to you by Zentai for all your cosplay needs. Link is in the description below and they are very cool and good. Cosplay your favorite characters or send in one of your own designs. Affordable prices and very high quality. Made to order and made to measure. But most of all, made to be heckin' awesome. If you couldn't already tell. Guys, can you believe where we are now and where we started? How long ago it was that Channel Pup or Channel Goat even came about? Because it really wasn't that that long when you think about it. Can you believe the amount of support I've received from this community, from all of you subscribing to the channel and everything? It's unreal. It's a dream come true for me. But behind the YouTubers you watch usually comes a bit of a truth, is that they're often dirt poor. Now, I've had the good fortune of being able to grow this YouTube channel and hopefully turn it into a career, but I'm gonna need a little bit of help along the way to even the odds to make ends meet, so that I can use all of the possible time that I have to make videos for you guys as opposed to doing something mundane for barely enough money to make it worth its while. I've done all that. I've lived that life. The fact is, together we all built Channel Pup. We made it what it is today, and I want to keep the ball rolling on that. I don't ever want to stop doing this because this is the most gratifying job I've ever had, and I think the most pleasurable hobby anyone could ever have. I don't take any of the support that I receive from you guys for granted, but if in any way you're wondering if maybe you could do a little more for the channel even, then I want to direct you to the Patreon link in the description below. It would mean the world to me to have your support via Patreon. It can help me to make ends meet. It can help me to better my content. It can help me to have more time to really work on this stuff. But you know what? I'm not just going to take your support and run. No way, Jose. In the Patreon, you can access exclusive videos via the Pups Project Room playlist, where you can see different projects that I've been working on or have worked on that have either not made it to YouTube for general viewing or have been cancelled, or, well, you can get a little view of the process that goes behind the Channel Pup videos and productions. As well as that, you tend to get advanced previews of the bigger Channel Pup projects, our tentpole event projects. If you've seen Marvelous Tales of Spider-Man, you'll be aware that that was released on the Patreon first, and 20 days later approximately was released for general viewing on YouTube. That's not the only time I'm gonna do this. But you know what? If you can't do the Patreon or are just not interested in doing the Patreon, I fully understand. Like, it's still a big ask in my opinion. And what counts most is your support. So, as always, thank you so much, guys. I've been Channel Pup, and I will think of a better catchphrase next time. Now please leave me alone!